Hello, BookTube. This is Weekly Reads. My reading week can be divided between a great reading weekend in which I read manga and the work week, which was weird and disappointing. So on Saturday, I read 4 volumes of manga. The 4 September new releases. What I do every month is I put in pre-orders for the following month's forthcoming volumes of manga in the series that I actively follow and debuting series that I would like to try out with Book People, the great bookstore in Austin, Texas. So in September, I only got 4 volumes of manga. October's manga haul is going to be significantly larger. And then November is going to be roughly about what I normally get, volume-wise. So normally what I do when I read these volumes would be to read them in the order in which I have them placed in my library. So I would have started with Eden Zero and then worked my way to Nuei's Exorcist. But this is the final volume of Eden Zero, so I wanted to save this volume for last, and I am glad that I did. So I read these volumes in ascending order from Nuei's Exorcist through to Eden Zero. And then on Sunday, I read 3 volumes, 61 through 63, of One Piece by Eiichiro Oda in this omnibus edition. So let's give this some time. So hopefully I can get this group as my thumbnail, because I would like to have this as my thumbnail. So let's get started on the September new releases. So this is the second volume of Nuei's Exorcist by Kota Kawae. Nuei's Exorcist is about a high school student named Gokuro who can see spirits. One day, a malicious spirit attacks his class, and he is offered a deal by the powerful spirit Nuei, who is sealed away in a hidden classroom at Gakuro's school, that she will lend him power in order to defeat this malicious spirit. Gakuro takes the deal and becomes Nuei's contractor and hence an exorcist. Gakuro quickly becomes known to the local exorcist community and becomes friends with a local exorcist who attends the same school. A more prominent exorcist family learns of this contract and of the presence of Nuei and send one of their members, Shiroha, to break the contract with Gakuro and claim Nuei's contract for themselves. And so this volume is mostly about that conflict between Gakuro and Shiroha, where Gakuro has to figure out how to gain strength and knowledge and experience to defeat a much more skilled and experienced opponent. And so a lot of this volume is him figuring it out, gaining new abilities, learning how to use those abilities, and coming up with a plan to ensure victory with significant help from Nuei. She's quite good at coming up with these plans. Also, this volume looks into Gakuro's character and Shiroha's. And what I really liked about this volume is how Gakuro, while meaning to do good, to be helpful, recognizes when he oversteps and apologizes for that, but still comes through in the end. It was really good. And I'm really looking forward to volume 3, which comes out in November. So we'll get some random pictures. So next up, I read the 4th volume of Gokurakugai by Yuto Sano. In Gokurakugai, this is set in an alternate, not quite our world, where there are beastmen, so human-animal hybrids, as well as corrupted, reanimated corpses possessed by something from hell called Maga. Tao is a woman of Gokurakugai who works as a jack of all trades. She's a private investigator, she's a troubleshooter, she also is involved in an organization that is devoted to protecting the normal people of Gokurakugai from these Maga monsters. Alma's adoptive younger brother / son is Alma, a young man who is partially a Maga. At the beginning of this volume, Tao is confronted by Jin, her biological younger brother, who seemingly died years before the series began, but is in fact a Maga. And there's a brief scuffle between Jin and Alma that results in Jin's escape. Jin is part of a family of more humanoid Maga who seem to be enjoying causing copious amounts of chaos. One of the members of this family, Utsu, becomes the main antagonist for chapters at the end of this volume. She is going on something of a rampage, and her latest target is Alma. So the final scenes of this volume is one brutal fight between the two of them. And one thing I liked about this volume is delving into the Tao's backstory. That was really good. So next up is Dark Gathering, Volume 15 by Kenichi Kondo. This is the story of a young man named Kaitaro who, before the series began, was cursed when he and his best friend went on a ghost hunting adventure. Kaitaro has the ability to sense spirits. And this event led Kaitaro to becoming a shut-in. However, thanks to the support of his friends and family, Kaitaro is no longer a shut-in. And in order to further help him in his reintegration into society, he has become a tutor. Unfortunately, his first student is his best friend's young cousin, Yayoi, who can see spirits and has the troubling hobby of hunting down the most malicious ghosts she can so that she can forcibly conscript them into a growing ghost army so that she can unleash this army on a malevolent embryonic spirit entity that has kidnapped the spirit of her mother a year before the series began. And Kaitaro is dragged along for the ride, although he quickly comes to accept this new reality and forms a very strong bond with Yayoi. So this volume sees the execution and into the fight called Operation Bellwether or Bellflower Regicide. So Kaitaro has taken on a second student, Ai, who is from a family long dedicated to sacrificing a young daughter of this family to a psychopathic, childlike incarnation of a god. And so Bellflower Regicide is devoted to taking the fight to this nutty little god. And so what Yayoi does is the group goes to Kyoto, where Ai is in the hospital, and or more appropriately, Yayoi invades Kyoto, takes down a number of local powerful spirits, and then places some of her more powerful spirits in select locations so that she can launch a curse attack on this god before unleashing all of her spirits on this god. And, oh boy, this was amazing. The fights, the back and forth, the interruptions. This was a lot of fun. Just a lot of fun. And some of the spreads, this is just amazing. I am really loving this series. And I think the next volume comes out in November as well. And so the last of the September manga is Eden Zero Volume 33 by Hiro Mashima, the final volume. So Eden Zero is about a young man named Shiki, this character here, who is raised on a tourist planet populated by androids by his adoptive grandfather, the Demon King Ziggy, this dude here. One day a young woman named Rebecca, this young woman here, and her seat companion Happy, come to the planet to film videos for her B-Cube channel. While there, the androids seem to malfunction and try to kill Rebecca and Happy. Shiki intervenes and the trio flee the planet. They decide to form a team and become adventurers, seeking Mother, the great cosmic goddess figure, who is said to grant anybody who finds her their wish. Eventually, the trio settle on the Eden Zero, a spaceship that was originally piloted by Ziggy and left for Shiki, should he so choose to take possession of it. There are 4 guardian androids, the Shining Stars, who worked with Ziggy before he abandoned the ship. Witch, Sister, Hermit, and Valkyrie. And gradually, Shiki and Rebecca in their adventures add to the crew, and this crew quickly becomes a family. After many adventures and jumps across universes, Shiki and crew have finally reached Mother. But when they do, they are presented with Shiki is presented with an impossible choice. He can either choose to save Mother at the cost of everybody who died in other universes no longer being alive in this universe, including Shiki himself, or he can let Mother die and all of his friends and family and everybody who died in other universes surviving. Shiki takes a third option in order that he wants to save both Mother and everybody who died in previous universes, and he has a very audacious plan to do that. Meanwhile, the Eden's One, another starship built by Ziggy with a corrupted artificial intelligence that wishes to wipe out all biological life forms, is launching a final assault so that it can destroy Mother itself. And this leads to a huge battle during the course of this volume, as Shiki is enacting his plan to save Mother. And oh boy, this volume was spectacular. I loved it. There were tears, there was laughter, there was me in a jiggling mess. It was wonderful. And the ending is just amazing. And I loved how everybody comes together to fight the Eden's One. It was great. But there's not much I can show you because I don't want to spoil a whole lot. But it was great. It was great. So I'm definitely going to, sometime in 2026, embark on a massive reread of the entirety of Eden Zero. So look forward to that. Now, moving on to Sunday. I read volume 61, 62, and 63 of One Piece by Eiichiro Oda. So, One Piece is a long-running and incredibly popular manga series about Monkey D. Luffy. When Luffy was a young boy, he was the mascot of a pirate crew captained by red-haired Shanks, who used Luffy's home village as a port of call. On their penultimate visit to this village, Luffy ate a devil fruit, a fruit that grants its consumer superhuman abilities at the cost of their ability to swim. 10 years later, Luffy sets out to see himself to become a pirate with the goal of finding the One Piece and becoming king of the pirates. Over the course of his adventures, he adds to his crew, who become known as the Straw Hat Pirates. These volumes see the Straw Hats reunite after a 2 years apart, after their disastrous adventure at the Sabaody archipelago. And when they reunite at Sabaody, they are significantly stronger. And so after they deal with some imposters who are trying to bank on the Straw Hats' infamy, they proceed to Fishman Island, an island kingdom under the sea, ruled by Neptune. The Fishman Island is experiencing some difficulties. There is a nascent rebellion going on, led by an admirer of an earlier antagonist of the series named Arlong. The villain here is Hody Jones. Also, another fisherman pirate is launching unwanted advances and weapons at the princess of the Fisherman Kingdom, Shirahoshi, and the Straw Hats get drawn in. And they are, as of volume 63, fully enmeshed in this rebellion and all of what's going on Fishman Island, and it was fun. I really enjoyed these 3 volumes. And there are some really great scenes. Particularly so there's this here. And I really like how they Oda explores how they grew up and how they got stronger. It's a lot of fun. And one thing I do want to note is that I kind of wish I had gotten to this volume in September, because this volume these volumes would have been great for October, because there's a Kraken, which in one hilarious fight Luffy beats the tar out of and actually tames. I'm going to show that. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this. And I'm looking forward to more One Piece this weekend. So, now on to my weird work week. So, after the disaster that was my Victober reading plans and my alternate to those Victober reading plans, I didn't really know what to do this reading work week. For some reason, I thought maybe I could give Homeland of My Body by Richard Blanco another look. And it did not go well at all. I tried it on Monday, and then, like a fool, I tried it again on Tuesday, and I think Richard Blanco is just not for me. So my original plan was, if things had worked out with Homeland of My Body, that I would have given another look to some of the plays that I have bailed on this year, including a reread of A Raisin in the Sun by Lorraine Hansberry, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom by August Wilson, and The Skin of Our Teeth by Thornton Wilder. That did not pan out, so what I did on Wednesday and Thursday was basically a try a chapter tag. So on Wednesday, I read the introduction to Bloodlands by Timothy Snyder. This is a history of the oppressions, massacres, famines, war, genocide that was enacted in the regions between Nazi Germany and Stalinist Soviet Union, from the Baltic to the Black Sea. And it looks at both what the Nazis did as well as what Stalin's forces did. So I think I will be able to continue on with this this work of history later in October. My plan is not to kind of read it now, but to read it later. And the same is true of Inventing the Renaissance by Ada Palmer, which is a book that I have previously tried this year and bailed on. I reread the preface and the introductory first chapter, and I actually read a bit further into the book, so that I'm now currently on page 41. I have exceeded where I bailed on the book previously, so I'm pretty sure I will be able to bail redeem this. This is a book that looks at how the idea of the Renaissance was invented, and looking at some of the history of the period. So I'm pretty sure I will be able to bail redeem this. To what amount of enthusiasm either one of them will elicit, that remains to be seen. So my plan is, on Monday, I'm going to start back up on Inventing the Renaissance and then moving on to Bloodlands once I finish that. So, one problem that I've been experiencing this work week has been that I haven't been feeling great. Part of it probably was my reaction to my plans for October not working out, and my overreaction to when that happens. I've mentioned a few times, and I was hoping I would be able to make a video on Monday talking about this, but it didn't quite work out. And maybe I needed some time to really think about it and really try to figure out on my own what's going on before I try to make a video in which I try to figure out what's going on during the video. But I periodically get the urge to add more books to the part of my library that I call Classics, Canonical, Modern, and Contemporary Fiction, Poetry, and Drama. The problem is that I don't really get on with these books. And except for maybe the poetry. And so I will add them to my library, and when I get around to reading them, I, for the most part, bail on them. Or, I mean, at best, my reaction is, it's okay. But it's a very mediocre, lukewarm okay. And so that bums me out. And having 4 in a row last week really bummed me out. So that probably there was a lot of that. I'm also dealing with a number of health issues right now. I've got eczema. I'm having a gout outbreak right now, or a gout attack. And for much of this week, I've not been feeling like I've been feeling weak as well. So a lot of that probably has contributed to this week being kind of what it was. Hopefully things are going to improve for next week, and the rest of October will be not as bad. But we shall see. I will try to report back during weekly reads, because I keep meaning to talk about more than just books at the end of these videos, and it never quite works out. So anyway, as far as videos for next week, I'm still hoping to talk about the whole my desire to add more books to this part of my library, as well as the fact that I don't actually get on with them. And there's one tag video that I really want to make that has been plaguing me for a month, and it's not quite working out. So hopefully I'll be able to figure that out on Tuesday. And if not that, then I'll try to do a different tag video. Wednesday may or may not have a video. My mom has a follow-up appointment with her urologist, and I'm not entirely sure how long we will be on the bus ride home, which is going to be kind of good, because the wait for the appointment and then the wait for the bus to come back probably means I will get a good chunk of Inventing the Renaissance read on Wednesday. And hopefully I have a better experience than when I tried to read Paris Stories by Mavis Gallant last week. Anyway, and then hopefully there might be some book hauls, because I have some volumes of manga coming in. And if there are any sort of discussion videos or anything else that I want to do over the course of next BookTube week. So anyway, BookTube, I've gone on for quite long enough. I will see you hopefully on Monday. So until then, thank you. Have a great rest of your afternoon and evening, and have a great weekend. Thank you, BookTube.